Welcome to the Dawgs Table. Hosted by Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates. Get access to special guests. Anyone can join the Dawgs Table. Find the link to join the show in the comments when we go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope, and everywhere on the BIGPLAY network. Here's your hosts, Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates.
We are live and I am back, baby. Welcome to the Dawgs Table. I am that fat guy. Let's bring in Craig Fountain, my brother. What's going on, bud?
How's it going, man? Glad to see you're feeling better.
Oh, my Lord. I hated last week. Last week was horrible.
Look at we got Craig Foster watching the show. He's wearing his Dawgs Table merch in his profile photo. You can see that down there.
Nice.
We got Red Leg. Craig's Red Legs, thanks for joining. Craig Foster says, glad you're back. We appreciate everybody that's joining the show. We are the Dawgs Table. We are a Cleveland Browns roundtable discussion show. And we talk all things Browns. Anybody can join our show. It's kind of like Twitter Spaces if you're on Twitter, but it's video. So we will post a link in the comments around 8:30-ish, more than likely. And you can click that link. If you don't see it in the comments, then feel free to ask us for a DM of the link to join. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
That is Alexander. There is my other knucklehead, Charlie. Come on, get in here. They're my boys.
And my mom finished 1,000.
You finished the puzzle?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Upstairs, I love you.
All right. So we don't have Princess joining the show today, but we got the twins.
Sorry, you got the hand boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Little dogs, as Craig here put it. You guys can interact with us even if you don't join the show. Just comment like Red Leg or Craig has, or Chris. Chris is here. Thanks for joining the show, Chris. We are brought to you by Labatt Blue and Remax Edge Realty, the JC Group. We are also brought to you by BIGPLAY. We are part of Team BIGPLAY. You can find us anywhere BIGPLAY is found. So, huge news. And I know you are so excited.
But
I'm excited about this. We've been talking about it, and we have Denzel Ward, now the highest paid cornerback in NFL history, on the Browns. He got his extension, and the warden is back. Fatty, I know you're fired up about this.
I love it. You got to shut down corner. We actually signed one of our draft picks. Besides Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, we got our quarterback of the future, our shut down quarterback. And everybody goes, he's injured all the time. Shut up. He's a shutdown quarterback. He shuts down everybody. I saw like a little clip today where Jamar Chase, who was an absolute great rookie, did catch shit against Denzel Ward. Guess what? Denzel Ward got 2 interceptions against Jamar Chase. So welcome it and love it, because guess what? The future is looking bright for the Cleveland Browns.
Very bright. And Bill, thanks for joining the show. We appreciate you watching. He's absolutely correct. So the way we're going to get into the contract structure here in just a minute. Spot Track doesn't have it updated, but Pro Football Talk claims to have the details of the contract. So we will go ahead and review that here in a minute, and we'll discuss how it's structured and what that means for the Browns. But speaking of some of the highlights that have been going around, we see that pick 6 right near the end zone. They all seem to be Bengals highlights, don't they? Like for the most part.
The one you put out with the slide?
Yeah, so that might be one of the craziest defensive back highlights that I've ever seen. And I remember seeing it and thinking, this can't be real. One of the Bengals wide receivers is out wide, and he's going to block Denzel Ward, right? And they're going to throw it to, I think it was Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins, right down there in the flat, right behind the line of scrimmage. And they think they have Denzel Ward blocked, and Sendejo is going to miss that tackle, right? Wrong. Denzel Ward slides feet first under the guy and then just absolutely nails the receiver. It's just one of those moves. Like, you can't coach that. You can't teach that. That's instinct. That's swag. It's just crazy. And this defensive backfield is something that the Browns have invested so heavily in.
Yes,
heavily. And it's, one of the things you're saying that I absolutely love is you're right. We took a first round draft pick, first rounder. Just so happens to be a Cleveland guy. Just so happens to be an Ohio State guy. Fourth overall. We get him throughout the beginning of his contract, and then we lock him up. He's only 24, and when he becomes an unrestricted free agent, provided we keep him through the entire term of his contract, he's going to be 31 years old. I mean, what do you want? And you know what? We're going to be having discussions in years future, because I think Greg Newsome will be as good as Denzel Ward. Personally.
I think he will be too.
So,
but the one thing that I do hate at this point in time is we got a little bit of bite back on Dawgs Table when we put that out. Somebody goes, "Well, he's injured." I don't give a shit if he's injured.
Yeah.
Those 10 games that he plays are game changers. They are. He is a game changer when he's on the field. And guess what? I'd rather have him on the field for 11 games than the entire season missing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, appreciate you joining the show. About damn time we got this news. Absolutely. Like, this was good news. And listen, I was one of the guys that was like, hey, like, it'd be nice to lock him up. If we got to trade him, maybe he could be part of a DK Baker deal, something like that. For what it's worth, I'm as happy as anybody that we locked up. Craig, happy birthday. You're turning 32 next Thursday, so happy birthday in advance. Speaking of next week, I'm a week too early. No, I'm not.
Nope.
Next week, we are not going to be on Tuesday. Pause. No. We are not going to be on Tuesday.
Nope.
We are doing our live draft special, and I have the information just a click away. We are going to be live for day 2 of the draft, which is kind of like our day 1 as Browns fans, right? We are going live from the Brick House Bar and Grill in Sebring, Ohio. It is a Canton suburb. Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, Ohio. We are going to be in a suburb of Canton. Fatty, normally we do our live shows up in the Cleveland market. You're coming down here. We have some guests coming in from out of town. Word on the street is we have some boys from Kentucky coming up, maybe including my brother from another mother, literally, French Golden.
Brothers from Kentucky.
Yeah, friend of the show. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be busy. We would love to have anybody that would want to make the trip out and join. Norman, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you watching. But let me pull up this info sheet here. 29th, you can join us live. We are going to be broadcasting from the Brick House Bar and Grill. April 29th, 7 p.m. So we will essentially be live reacting to what's going on. I'm not sure if it's going to be an hour show, if it's going to be a 2-hour show, a 3-hour show. Like, we don't know. We're going to be there. We're going to be drinking Labatt Blues. We're going to be eating and mingling, talking Browns. We are going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing all kinds of awesome stuff. So make sure if you can come out, you can join. If not, join us just like you always do, just on on that Friday. So back to Denzel Ward. Back to Denzel Ward.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Thursday is a big day. Thursday is my birthday. I turned 41 on Thursday.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
I know. I was just gonna pretend. I was just gonna pretend like it wasn't happening. But Jared's gonna be doing Pickleback's first birthday, so
yes,
we apologize in advance for the state of him during the live show. All right, so Denzel Ward, we got him locked up. Do you think the money was right, Jared?
You know something right now, yes, because you know something. What I heard today is, guess what? He sets his top of the market now. So right now, yes, we have the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. About a month from now, we might not. You never know what happens. Cleveland set the market, and let's see what everybody else does.
Yeah, so like Bill's saying, it's partially backloaded. So let's get into some of the reported particulars of the contract. His signing bonus is, huh?
Craig, my birthday is the 21st. It's this Thursday.
This Thursday, not next Thursday. All right.
You go 2 days. And
I'm just getting excited. All right. Signing bonus, $20 million.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, $20 million signing bonus, 2022 base salary, a hair over $1 million. So we actually get to keep some of that money now. Now, one of the things when this signing was announced, it's like, okay, is this front loaded or back loaded, right? So, is this going to affect guys like Clowney or who we're going to bring in? 2023. All right, there's a base salary of $4 million, option bonus $18.4 million, per game roster bonuses of $600,000 total. You're looking at 2024, $15 million, 2025, $13 million. So you're going to kind of see it's going to go down and then it's going to go up and then it's going to kind of go like that. So this is actually a great deal for the Browns. It leaves us room for some flexibility right now. We're not going to spend all of our money, but it gives us a little bit more cushion. Speaking of the Clowney signing, we do not have news on Clowney yet. However, the Browns did make some moves on the defensive line. We picked up Weatherly. He's played on a number of teams over the past few years. And we signed Sheldon Day. Sheldon Day is going to be back. So couple moves. Plus Jamarcus Bradley. We signed Jamarcus Bradley and it's escaping me right now. Michael Dunn. So the Browns have been pretty active. After this Ward thing hit, boom, 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 boom. And I think we'll see a couple more moves before the draft. I'm going to be super excited when there's a Clowney announcement. I don't know about you, Fatty. That's like the next, just give it to me. Like, that's what I want right now. I want to hear Clowney news. Jarvis Landry. Don't get too excited, guys. I know I'm kind of changing topics here. Don't get too excited. He is actually visiting with the New Orleans Saints. So we'll see if they let him leave the building because they are wide receiver hungry. He'd actually probably be a pretty good fit down there.
Yes, he would be, but also with that, if he does not get signed before the draft, watch that price tag come down. Browns might be back in on him.
All right. Say that one more time, Fatty. Sorry, I got distracted with studio stuff.
I said if he does not get signed before the draft, okay, that price tag comes down. He might be re-signed by the Browns at that point in time because everybody's going to try to get a younger wide receiver, everything else, and you might actually pick up Jarvis on the back end of this for a decent deal that you need him.
A lot of these dominoes are going to fall, to use Norman's words. Clowney's the next domino. A lot of these dominoes are going to fall with post-draft clarity, right? So all of these rosters that have these question marks are really obviously going to take shape after the draft. And that's when everybody's like, all right, everything, the table's set, right? This is where the missing pieces are. this is where we fill in all those missing pieces, and a lot of things will fall. Baker may not be moved until after the draft, if at all, because that's when teams are going to know whether or not they got the quarterback that they wanted. Things like that. Trades can happen during the draft. So it's kind of a toss-up whether or not we're going to see a ton of action. Clowney's the one I want to see prior to the draft more than anything. Skyler, let's see. At this point in free agency, it's very rare for someone to take a visit and not sign, at least in my opinion. I'm with you there. This late in free agency, Skyler, you're absolutely correct. You're going to see guys go on visits and not leave without a contract. And
But
the question, huh?
It's happened before.
No, it's absolutely happened before. With that being said, we also don't know the reason exactly why Jarvis Landry doesn't have a deal right now. He's taken visits. He visited with Atlanta. We don't know if he left without a contract because he's not ready to sign yet. Is he in a Clowney type situation? Does he not have any offers yet? We don't know. Barry, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come in. I see the camera kind of going all over down there. All right. Barry, how's it going?
I'm up in arms about these contracts.
All right, let's hear it. 1 second. Bill, isn't New Orleans in cap hell? Yes, they've been in cap hell for years. I don't know how they do it. They're one of the main reasons where I can get on board with the cap is a myth philosophy. We can get back into that. Barry, tell me what you think about these contracts. You don't got any hookers or blow going on over there right now, right?
No, I think we're all in this year because I think after this year, I don't know who's getting cut or how they're going to cut or what. But we can't pay all these contracts next year.
So I think the idea is,
we got the top paid quarterback, the top paid defensive back, one of the top paid running backs, one of the top paid defensive ends, a $20 million wide receiver. How are you going to pay all that?
We have a broadband. It's going to be between 1 and 3.5 years that we have with this group.
Fatty, we're not paying anything this year. All these contracts are due next year. There's no 3 years. There's 1 year. It's this year. After this, we can't pay these contracts.
Once you get Baker off the books with $18.9 million, that frees up $20 million.
He's still 40% of what Deshaun Watson's making. Less than 40%.
So one of the things that I think is the theory, and obviously I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a cap expert, but the theory is, from what I understand, that the jump we're going to see in the salary cap year over year moving forward is going to be tremendously more drastic than we're used to. There's an influx of money coming into the league via new TV deals, streaming deals, but also sports betting. Contract restructuring is becoming an art, as Bill says here. A lot of the contracts can be reworked into signing bonuses. Norman, signing bonuses, he's kind of echoing that. We're also going to see cap casualties. I don't think all these guys are necessarily, I think that the ones we're signing to 4 or 5 year deals right now, they're absolutely cornerstone pieces of the franchise in Barry's eyes. But, there's a handful of players that we're not really thinking about right now that could be cap casualties over the next couple of years, or they could restructure. I think we're kind of in the middle of the league as far as risk factor when it comes to overall cap numbers. But Barry, we are clearly in a win now mode, right? And
exactly.
we're gonna have to solve that down the road, like you're saying. Now, something that you've said over time, and I have said, and we've talked about it on the show, is I'm not a fan of the 1 year window, the 2 year window, the 3 year window. Mm-hmm. I want a 20-year window. I want the Ben Roethlisberger window. I want the Tom Brady window. You know what I'm saying? So
and it also, it goes back into that, I think we're all in this year. And part of the reason was we had this conversation the other day about Deshaun Watson. And I think if he doesn't get suspended this year, he's not going to be suspended at all. You think maybe next year, depending on what happens and stuff like that. But maybe, what if you're right? What if it's next year he's suspended?
Yeah.
What if that's what the Browns are counting on? Maybe that's why. I mean, because you know, we're signing all these contracts, these hundreds of millions of dollars contracts, but every one of these people are $4 million against the cap this year because they have a $20 million signing bonus that's stretched out over 5 years.
Yeah, and we saw Deshaun Watson next year has a salary of $1 million. Now we see Denzel Ward has a salary of $1 million. And that's relatively common when it comes to contract structuring. What's interesting about the Deshaun Watson scenario, and we can kind of transition into that, I suppose, is when he signed this deal, I think we were all kind of expecting things to happen a little quicker than they did. And we were thinking he was kind of going to get a pass on the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got a $1 million contract. And if he gets suspended, you know, he misses out on the $1 million, how X amount of weeks out of that $1 million. Or we thought that they might go back and do time served, right? And they would penalize him against last year's money because he was getting paid last year. Now it's looking more and more like nothing's going to happen with these civil suits this year. So we may get Deshaun Watson all year without a suspension. However, that big money starts next year. It's going to cost him a lot more money out of pocket if that happens. But you're saying you think, hey, they're going to suspend him now or they're not going to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Everything that I read, yeah. I mean, because they say that, you know, everything they say is everything that Roger Goodell said was like everything's separate from the it was separate from the criminal investigation, the NFL investigation, separate from the criminal investigation. It's separate from the civil suits. They said it has no bearing on the outcomes of that is what the NFL does. Supposedly the NFL is doing their diligence and interviewing people. But, you know, my thing is why haven't they taken action already if they're not going to? But maybe you're right. Maybe they're waiting to see what Deshaun Watson admits to and with the civil case, and then they suspend him. I don't know.
So technically the NFL can kind of do whatever they want, right? They kind of march to the beat of their own drum. Now, if we look at what they normally do and the precedent they've set in the past is they won't actually take action until civil cases have been handled. All right. So the whole question right now is, will they penalize Deshaun Watson prior to any resolution to civil cases? The question, or, you know, the problem is when we're looking at it is the civil cases aren't expected to have anything done with them until next year. So if we look at precedent, they have to wait till after that's finished, which would be next year, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would take action at that point. Fatty, give me your 2 cents. I know that you probably have something to say here.
I mean, you know how I feel about Deshaun Watson and everything that goes on with these civil cases. My biggest thing is if you're going to do it now. What does it matter what the civil case is? Obviously, there is a trait there.
You're right.
It's 22. It's not like it's 1 or 2 of I'll pay them off, and it's 22, and then there's more. The one thing that actually throws out for me is the one judge in Texas that goes, "Hey, I know it's a civil case. What did you do with these girls? I need to hear it. I need to hear it. I need you to actually tell me if you had sex with these girls."
So it's not 22 different cases, right? It's one case with 22 accusations.
I think that there is essentially one case, 22 girls. There are actually, I think, 24 or 26 accusations, but the focus has been on the 22. Now, with that being said, 1 or 2 of the girls is in a different county. So there was separate proceedings for the indictment. All right. Yeah. So we had the first indictment that the grand jury hearing that resulted in no indictment. And then he had a second grand jury hearing after he was with the Cleveland Browns, and that resulted in nothing. Yeah. So Norman over 5. Yeah.
And like you said, with 22 of them, what's the chance of 22 of them being bullshit? all 22 of them, man, that's slim to none. But on the other hand, I guarantee the majority of them are.
Hold on. By the way, BJ, if it's 5 girls that accuse you, okay, 22, there's a pattern, brother. It's not like it's 5. It's
The reason it's 22 is because the majority of them are after money. There's not.
Okay, that's what it is.
The majority of them are. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right.
I'm not saying that he's innocent. That never came out of my mouth.
No, I'm not saying he's innocent either. But if it's Ben Roethlisberger with his 1 to 2 cases, or anybody else with their 1 to 2 cases, it's not 1 to 2 cases. It is 22 cases.
So there's 2 ways you can look at this. All right. And, we've talked to Blake Weiner. All right. We had him on the show, a special guest. He's an attorney. He's worked both prosecution and he has experience with civil litigation. We kind of went over some of the stuff there. I think that when it comes to the all 22 quote unquote argument, some of us believe, hey, all 22 women can't be lying, right? There's other folks that believe it's awfully convenient that they were able to find 22 women, one right after another, and the attorney sourced, found all these women and they filed suit through him.
And then there's the third angle that the prosecution had 22 complaints against this guy and could not find enough to charge him with. I have 22 accusations. Out of 22 of them, they couldn't find enough to charge him with. Now, then you got me, who I'm in the middle of all 3 of them. I believe all 3 of them.
Yeah.
All 3 angles. I believe all 3 angles. My head spins on it. Because every one of them, common sense takes place. Every single one of them. And
absolutely. And one of the things when we talked to Blake on the show, he mentioned hey, listen, it's not about win-loss record for prosecution. It's not necessarily about evidence either. What he was saying as a prosecutor was, because there's the understanding that anybody can indict somebody essentially for anything. It's not hard to get an indictment.
Mm-hmm.
He took the stance of, hey, if the indictment didn't happen, the prosecutors didn't want to try the case. The question mark is, why didn't they want to try it? Was it because there's not enough evidence? Was it because they just didn't want to pursue it for whatever reason after looking at the evidence? There's just too many question marks. And literally all we can do is speculate. Let's see what Bill has to say.
Craig, BJ, we have beat this drum to death. Let's move on. All right.
And my head is still spinning with it.
I know it is. But guess what? We're to the Dawgs Table. There has been other things that have happened besides Deshaun fucking Watson. Let's move on. We have signed defensive tackles. We signed Denzel Ward. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show because you know something? I do not want to talk about Deshaun Watson until it's actually time to play football.
What if you have 4 people come on here and want to talk about Deshaun Watson?
Guess what? My show, Craig's show, Sweet Chip.
I thought it was a roundtable of open discussion.
Oh, snap. All right. With that,
Craig left me in charge. Guess what?
Okay. All right, Eric. Why pay Denzel so much?
I don't want to, BJ.
Why pay Denzel so much? So we kind of went over this at the beginning of the show. I mean, Denzel Ward is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I believe he deserved this contract. It's a lot of money, yes. Deshaun Watson is an amazing quarterback. Let's talk about that. He is an amazing talent. He is an amazing talent. Some of us have mixed feelings on the thing as a whole. Sweet chin music, like it.
Yeah, sweet chin music.
All right,
Shawn Michaels.
So we are a little bit late on a couple of our segments. So we are going to go to our weekly Twitter poll. Here we go. All right. So, Barry disappeared.
Sorry.
Weekly Twitter poll.
I didn't mean
Now,
to,
what's that?
I didn't mean to upset him. I just
Oh, there he is. I don't think he's not upset. I think he had a connection issue. He didn't ghost us. All right, so our weekly Twitter poll. Now, this is a love it or hate it question. Some people, I think, didn't want to respond to this question that we put out. Sorry if you're a YouTuber or a Facebooker or Instagrammer or whatever. We get the poll feature on Twitter. You can email Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and ask them to let us do polls. This was our lowest poll response in show history. And the answer is interesting to me. It was a little bit of a trolling question. Speaking of beating dead horses, we beat a dead horse with this question. Voluntary workouts started today, right, Fatty?
Unfortunately. Okay.
Yeah, you knew this was going to happen. And everybody wanted to talk on social media about whether or not they thought Baker Mayfield should show up to voluntary workouts. There is a number of considerations here, right? So he's got the spring game coming up. He is getting a statue unveiled of him because he won the Heisman with the Sooners. Let me double check the comments. All right. You good over there, Barry?
Why is it sideways?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Oh, man.
Hold on.
But, yeah.
By the way, are you sitting in a chair right now?
I am.
I want that fucking chair. Holy
It's a
hell.
nice chair.
That is a nice chair.
It's about done. It's about done. It's about through his lifespan. It's about time for a new one.
All right. Am I going to see you next week?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
House.
All right. Hey, hold on. Are you going to introduce me to certain people I should not be introduced to right out of the gate?
Like too.
Hollywood?
Hollywood.
If he's there.
Oh my lord. Okay. If you guys come out to the brick
You
house.
guys save me a spot at the table. I get my own headphones next week.
You get your own shit no matter what, as long as you keep Hollywood away from me.
All right. So back to the poll.
My spot.
So we asked the question. All right. Everybody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to vote on the poll. I think people are conflicted about this. Was it kind of a trolling question? Yes. Fatty, I was trolling when I posted this poll.
Yeah, I know you were. It's all right.
People don't want to commit. So it was our worst performing poll in show history. But
yeah, like 3 people.
no, it wasn't that low performing. No, we still got a good number of votes. It was just not what it normally is. Twitter poll of the week: voluntary workouts begin tomorrow. We posted this yesterday. What would be a worse look for Baker, showing up or skipping? The reason I asked this question rang true today on social media. There was people left to right criticizing him for not being there. They were saying this guy doesn't want a job anywhere in the NFL. If he wanted to show that he was a professional and a franchise quarterback, he should have been at the voluntary workouts, no matter what the situation with the Browns, no matter his roster status, no matter his shoulder recovery, no matter his spring game coming up, he should have been there. On the other hand, we had folks saying there's no reason for him to show up. He's clearly not going to be on this team next year. He's recovering from a shoulder injury. He can't throw the ball. And he's got other things going on, and that's fine. That's fine. Better him be away than have a distraction of him being there. Those are both two very valid arguments, right? Maybe. Fatty, how would you have voted in this poll?
Are you fucking kidding me? The team quit on you. Why would you fucking voluntary go in for fucking... Here, let me lift weights. Right in front of the guy that... It's like going to your ex-girlfriend's wedding. That's what you're setting up for. Right there. That's exactly what
going to your ex-girlfriend's wedding.
Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, you're the best.
She left you last month and is already getting married, and you're showing up.
You're getting married, and you're the best man. And you're just like, hey, I'll hold it. Like, bullshit. Bullshit. Baker Mayfield should never be at this point. At this point in time, Baker Mayfield should have nothing to do with the Browns logo.
I hope he doesn't ever again.
That's why we differ.
All right, so listen. Never mind should he or whatever. Like, what's the worst look though? Is it a worse look for him?
It's voluntary. It's not like it's not.
That's fair enough. I'm with you. I'm just asking.
Mandatory, and he didn't show up, then it might look bad. It's voluntary.
We're gonna revisit that. I have a feeling.
Are you sure about that?
You don't think he's gonna be gone by mandatory?
We'll find out.
All right, we'll find out. Norman said he working out with Cap. So Kaepernick was actually working out with a number of Browns pass catchers in family and friends of Browns pass catchers. He was working out with Jakeem Grant. He was working out with David Njoku. I'm assuming David Njoku's brother. I mean, how many Njokus are there? There's another Njoku there. Jarvis Landry, free agent wide receiver, former Brown Jarvis Landry was working out with Cap. So that's interesting. But Baker Mayfield, I don't think was working out with Cap. It was a worse look to not showing up last year. You know, this is kind of one of those.
Should.
What's that?
They probably should. They're both going to be playing USFL next year.
You know, all right, let's not get into the Kaepernick stuff.
Hey, whose winning percentage is better as an NFL quarterback, Kaepernick or Mayfield's?
Mayfield.
Is it? I don't know. I think Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback, but
Kaepernick played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I mean,
doesn't matter.
He won a lot of games that year.
Honestly,
he won a lot of games that year, and then Baker's got a losing record.
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to touch the Cap thing. We've touched the Cap thing before, but yeah, I don't know. All right, so I don't think he should have showed up to voluntaries. There's no reason for him to show up. I don't think it's a bad look either way. I think if he would have showed up, it might have been more of a circus. Might have been more media attention.
I agree. I think if he would have showed up, Colin Cowherd would have been all over him. Said he was making it all about him. Well, I don't know. No matter what he did, Cowherd was going to be on him. But you're right. But if he just showed up, they'd have been like, he'd just been there trying to stir shit. That's what the angle would have went. The professional thing to do. He knows he's not going to be on his team next year. He knows they're shopping him, and like he said, I think he was right. And for himself, and he needs to be doing what he's doing. He needs to be focused on his rehab, focused on getting better, and focused ready to play for whoever he plays for next year.
All right, I am now posting the link to join the show in the comments. Kevin Arnold, Voice of the Land podcast, also team Big Play. So Baker shouldn't be associated with the Browns because to certain people he is too childish by being on social media, but Watson should be associated with us. Yeah, not for me right now. Kevin, I share certain sentiments with you as far as like where I agree with you. I just don't think there's any reason for him to show up right now, though. Like Watson, I can understand why he has a reason to show up, right? Like we know he's going to be the quarterback moving forward. Obviously, we've moved on for Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield, knowing that, he's not going to be playing next year, or at least he shouldn't be, because even if the Browns wanted him to play in the absence of Deshaun Watson via suspension, like if I'm Baker Mayfield, like F that, like why would I do that? Why would I even think about doing that? Number two,
that'd be like your ex-wife asked you to come mow the lawn while your boyfriend's in prison.
There you go. There's another analogy for you, Red. Like Norman, I see you down there in the dog pen. I'll get to you in a second. We're killing it with analogies on this episode. It is great. Red Leg, also I saw your comment. If you want to see just the tip, Barry will be at the Break House showing off his moose while we have our live show there next Friday. May go viral on TikTok. So, huh?
Is the moose coming out?
It always comes out.
It depends on how much I drink.
Are you doing
After about 8 beers.
Pickleback?
Uh,
I said no. Like he won't do a pickleback with me. Come on.
I don't drink liquor, man.
Well, it's not liquor; it's pickle juice.
so
Liquor, yeah. Listen, if you get my sister to agree to it and say that I can, then I will.
All right.
Good luck with that.
Bill says for me, I love Baker and still like him as a dude. I was cool with the antics, but I want to win, and Watson gives us a way better chance to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Like, listen, I was all for the antics. I liked his moxie. I liked the attitude. I liked him talking shit. I liked him clapping at Hugh Jackson. I loved all of it. I want an in-your-face, confident quarterback. I don't care about the press conference antics. I don't care about any of that. I think he was a good dude. I don't necessarily think he was bad for the locker room. Just my opinion. Is Watson a better football player from a talent perspective? It's hard to disagree with that. Jocelyn, these analogies are killing me. All right, so Redleg, I see you down there too. I'm going to bring in you and Norman. Anybody else that wants to join? What's that?
Bring in everybody.
All right, we'll just bring them in.
Out.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Norman, I love you.
I love you too, brother.
Redleg, I will kiss you soon in May.
All right. Real quick, before we move on, let me at least get to the Twitter poll results here. Fatty, how do you think this shook out? How do you think Brown's Twitter voted? Do you think they voted it's a worse look for him to skip or a worse look to show up?
Worst look to show up.
All right. It was an exactly even 50-50 split from Browns fans. There was no right answer. It doesn't matter what you were saying. There was no majority with one certain opinion or another.
Wow.
You were wrong or right. Either way, whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, you people out there rooting against him, I hope he shows up your cubicle to boo you.
Hey, guess what? BJ, when I get paid $18.5 million for Baker Mayfield to show up and boo me 8 games for 3 hours, I'll do it. I'll do it all day. I'll do it all
me too.
Actually,
Me too. I'll be sitting
I
there
agree
with
with
you.
Baker.
I'll be sitting there with you.
I think we're getting
wait a
booed
minute.
right now. Bill, I'm crumbling in my cubicle right now. Norm rocking a tank top while we're all in here battling 30-degree weather in Ohio. Listen, we were mowing the lawn in shorts a couple days ago, and it's going to be 80 degrees 3 days from now, and it snowed today and yesterday. This is
I had to shovel 3 inches of snow. Seriously.
Well,
What
hey.
did you have to do today? Just walk out?
I mowed the snow.
well, I left work. It was slightly overcast, a little breezy. So we were probably in like the mid 70s today.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday it was like 92.
The sun was in my eyes. It was terrible.
Oh my Lord.
It's
right.
Arizona, brother.
So nice out there.
It's a
So
dry,
real quick,
dry heat there.
No.
I'm going to go to Redleg, and then I'm going to go to Norman. Your thoughts on what we've talked about through the show so far, Denzel, everything we've talked about. Go ahead and give us your thoughts.
Not Watson.
It's not about Watson. Fatty, let's get Fatty fired up for Fatty's on fire.
Okay.
Redleg, go ahead. What are your thoughts so far?
I got it real quick. I got to bounce.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys.
Yeah, see
Later,
you,
man.
Barry.
Later, Barry.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I mean, I think Ward deserved to get paid. He's like one of our core players. He's got to be there. Like you guys talking about, the money cost eventually is going to catch up to us. The poll was kind of surprising. I mean, it'd be a worse look for Baker to show up, I think, but it's spicy if he did. Like that'd be on target with him.
Why?
But
Why now?
yeah. Why do you spice it now? Or yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
No, and just like the Baker, why now? Why the hell does it matter if he shows up?
No,
it doesn't matter if he shows up.
no,
This is Cleveland Browns Twitter, just like shit, just to talk about. Like, oh my god, is Baker going to show up?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So
not showing up because he's getting the statue in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You know who showed up to the voluntaries today? Charlie Hewlett. What's he get?
Of course,
one picture.
Of course.
But yeah, no, I mean,
I'm not wearing his jersey. Oh wait, you're the only one that has his jersey.
I think his family does too. But no, I mean, I'm glad the guys are back in the building. I mean, this is old as shit too. This is like 2019. This thing's dead. So, but yeah, I'm glad they're back in the building. I think they're starting team building, getting new pieces in there, kind of integrating with one another. So it's kind of good to see. Looks like, I mean, right now, Watson's there. He's the leader. They've got him in the center of the huddle, but that's kind of where QB's anyway. So I'm just excited, man. I think it's good to get him back in the building, get him working. Baker's at this point, he's irrelevant except for the fan base. There'll be some deal cut soon where he's either released, he's going to get paid either way. So it's inconsequential at this point.
I cannot talk about Baker Mayfield anymore.
That's okay. I'll do it for you.
Fatty, what can we talk about?
Talk about wherever you want to.
Except quarterbacks.
What do you want to talk about? Tell me.
I'm just giving you shit.
Get me Fatty on fire. Just tell me what you want me to talk about.
Well, hold on. Let me say something. Then you probably might have some ammunition.
All right. Here we go. Let's hear it, Norman.
All right. From the top, Deshaun Watson, until he is proven guilty, the man is innocent. Innocent before proven guilty, not the other way around. I don't care if it's 100 women that come out and say, he touched me when I didn't ask him to. Until they can prove it, I don't want to hear no more about it. Fact of the matter is, 2 grand juries stated the reason why they didn't hand down any charges is because there was, as they put it, insufficient evidence. In other words, other than some hearsay, we ain't got no facts. So we're not charging this guy with a crime. Now, the fact that they've delayed this trial, apparently it's so they could try to slap something else on Watson that they sure they can get money out of off of him. So that, though, to me doesn't look too cool or too shady. So no suspension this year, no suspension period, unless Watson capitulates and says, I'm going to settle. Because that's what happened with the other people like Ben. I'm not going to call him by that unpleasant nickname, but Ben. He settled, so the league dropped the hammer on him. Okay. Ezekiel, I think he did the same thing. League dropped the hammer on him. Everybody else got criminally charged in some kind of way. The league dropped the hammer on him. If the league hasn't done nothing yet, because they haven't found anything, he hasn't admitted to anything. And until something else comes down, if they were to try to suspend him this year, the NFLPA would be all up their keisters, and they would be right to do so. You just can't suspend somebody because he's been accused of something or it's rumored that he did something. That's BS. Now, Baker, the workouts are voluntary. Other than this being high profile and the fact that there was so much animosity about, them getting Watson, he's saying he didn't tell him. I think his people didn't tell him. That's all under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. It's voluntary. If he showed up, cool. If he don't show up, no sweat. It's voluntary. Now, when it's mandatory, that might be different. But right now, nobody should be sweating him for not showing up. If anything, he's doing everybody a favor because then they don't have to talk about him. He doesn't have to answer questions or give anybody some side eye for asking him a question he don't want to answer or anything else like that. So that's good because he needs to start practicing say less. Everybody know that, heard that saying before? Say less. He needs to do that. Say less. All right. Denzel Ward. Awesome contract. Well worth it. And probably before the year is out, somebody else is going to top his, just like they did Garrett. I think the whole stress about the cap, not that there's a myth about the cap, but it's the fact that people like Andrew Berry have been so creative as far as how they work the cap. And the ways to get around the cap is to pay these people up front. So these signing bonuses, just guaranteed money, like Watson's, just guaranteed, right? So other than putting it all in escrow and everything, and then parsing it out to them over a certain period of time, you know, it only counts on the cap for so much. Only those contracts for a certain amount of money count, right? So the more money you guarantee, the more it actually doesn't come off the cap. So kudos to the Haslams, because like them or don't like them, and even though they were kind of really impatient in the beginning, they are committed to this team winning. And if nobody believes that, they need to watch everything that they've been doing so far this year. They are signing checks. They are talking to these people that they're signing. And facts are facts. That's how I look at it. Now, as far as all the other little moves they've been making, they're worthwhile. They're not headliners like Ward's deal, but they're essential as far as depth is concerned. Now, I'm waiting on Clowney to sign myself, but hey, maybe it won't happen until after the draft. And same thing for Landry. Now, he's still probably searching for 20 million, like what Cooper got, but unless a team is desperate, I don't think he's going to get it.
I don't think there's any way he's going to get it either. And, not to change the subject, I just want to welcome Joseph here. Joseph says he's new from Twitter. Great podcast, #CLE. Thanks for joining the show, Joseph. If you're still watching, we appreciate you coming in on YouTube. We can't display Twitter comments yet. Twitter doesn't let us do it. So Facebook, YouTube, we can display your comments, interact with them. I saw some questions in the comments here. There's a big news story we haven't even brought up yet. And what? Bill says, can we make fun of Hugh Jackson just for a minute with the news of the NFL inquiry coming out today? Bill seems like a funny guy. I've been reading his comments this whole show. And Bill, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you sticking around with us. Appreciate you commenting. I would actually love to talk with you. You seem like a funny guy. Don't hesitate to click that link one of these weeks. All right. So for those of you that have been living under a rock, the NFL has said that, hey, we've been investigating the Cleveland Browns for tanking during the Hugh Jackson era. Now, this was undoubtedly this had to have come about with the Hugh Jackson trying to wiggle his way into the Brian Flores lawsuit when he was talking about tanking.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that had to be where this originated. And, they've said the Browns have cooperated with the investigation.
Of course.
It should be coming to a conclusion soon, which is fine. My opinion is I don't think that we were tanking, especially because of the head coach we had. I think we just sucked. I think he sucked. I'm just saying. Hugh Jackson, let me give you a quote from Hugh Jackson, and then we have another guest to also bring in with us. 2 years ago, this is a quote from Hugh Jackson. 2 years ago, I tried to do this the right way through the bylaws and constitution of the National Football League to ask them to investigate the Cleveland Browns for all the allegations that I've made. So why open an investigation now? And that came from Hugh Jackson. Listen, Hugh Jackson, I thought he had enough L's on his resume. This is another one. This is going to be confirmation that he was just an awful, awful, awful head coach. And listen, I was Team Hugh Jackson when he showed up. All right. I'll admit it. I didn't have Twitter then. You could probably, if you wanted to, dig back on my Facebook or something. I also posted puke emojis when we drafted Baker because I used to hate Baker. But I was Team Hugh Jackson. 1-31, like it almost takes talent to suck that bad. All right. Man, Freddie Kitchens wasn't great, but he was an upgrade over Hugh Jackson. Whatever we did after those two eras was going to be better. I think we lucked out with Stefanski, but listen, we sucked. We sucked. We were mismanaged. I believe it was coaching. I don't necessarily put it as much on the front office as I do.
I do.
Hugh Jackson. You put it on the front office. You're not you weren't a fan of
both.
Dorsey or Sashi or
because before Dorsey, because Dorsey actually started bringing in the talent, starting with Myles Garrett. Okay. But before that, what we had people bringing onto the roster or keeping around is why they were losing so bad. Because one person, I don't care how effective they are, and I'm talking about like Myles Garrett, isn't going to win you but so many games, if at all. Okay.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, guy?
Welcome, Craig.
So
Thank you.
I blame management to a degree, if not for the players, for the coaches that they maintain on the team. Okay. Matter of fact, the reason why
Norman, can I interject? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How would you grade Hugh Jackson as a head coach?
I was giving him a D.
A D? Okay. That's fair. D or F, I can live with D or F. So
Norman
you're saying
giving him a D.
Got him. All right. So Norman, you're just saying, hey, listen, like Hugh Jackson sucked, but it wasn't all him. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Craig, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. Are you wearing your merch?
Thank you.
Are you wearing your merch, Craig? Ah, there it is.
Oh,
There it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
He's got the merch.
That was good.
He's got the merch. Look for more of that to come out soon. And I'm glad you like it.
You need to
Craig,
get
tell
hats
me,
now.
hats are coming.
Oh.
Hats are coming.
Cool.
They're actually going to be kind of like this. They're going to be like a trucker hat with a leather patch. It's going to be rectangle with our new Dawgs Table logo. So
New logo.
Sweet. I'll buy one.
Refined logo. You've seen the logo on the website?
Red leg.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Get down because you're getting one, and so is Mark.
Oh.
All right.
Hey.
Get down over there.
So our show logo is going to remain. We did a little bit of rebranding, but you'll see in our logo on the top right-hand corner, we have a table and chairs with a microphone. It's a little too detailed for merch, for printing, for engraving, for anything like that. So we kind of just cut off beneath the letters of the Dawgs Table and just used that we kind of arched the outline underneath that, and it's the skyline and the Dawgs Table. We're going to keep that logo for the show, but for all of our merch and our website and stuff, you're going to see a little bit of different rebranding. Craig, what do you think about the Hugh Jackson tanking allegations? Any thoughts there?
I think I don't think they were tanking.
Listen, it was a number of things. I think there's a little bit of truth to what all of us were saying, right? Like the coaching was bad, the management was bad. I have mixed feelings on Dorsey now because Dorsey did some good things. They weren't all good. Fatty, what do you think?
Dorsey did some great things. It wasn't good things. He did great things for Cleveland. Wyatt Teller, great thing. All right.
Wait, what?
Great thing. Chubb was a Dorsey pick, right?
Baker Mayfield.
You know something?
Denzel Ward.
Had to say it.
Denzel Ward.
I understand that point in time
Yeah.
he had to do it, but he got Denzel Ward.
Yeah. Fourth pick.
Hey, quick
But
question.
he didn't fire Hugh Jackson when he should have.
That's true.
Red leg, shoot.
Yeah, what year was the Hard Knocks? Was that the first or the second year where they went that was
2018.
Yeah.
18? Okay.
Dorsey just drafted because Baker Mayfield made fun of Dorsey.
Yeah. So that was actually the year Hugh got fired, right? So
Yeah.
We remember the quarterback camper in the parking lot, right? And then that was the year that we were on Hard Knocks. We started off the season. Hugh got fired, and that's when Greg Williams took over as the interim head coach, and Todd Haley was offensive coordinator. What's that?
And we won a shit ton of games afterwards.
Yep. Back when Freddie Kitchens was calling plays to Baker's strengths before going back to not calling him to the strengths the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me add in on that. Freddie Kitchens, his biggest mistake was turning the offense over to Ben Roethlisberger's former coordinator.
Haley.
Yep.
Todd Haley.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe in, I guess, playing to coaching to a player's strengths. He just says, "This is my offense. You're going to execute it this way." That's why he got ran out of Pittsburgh. Okay, and then he comes over here, and it's all deep throws downfield. And at the time, the line wasn't where it needed to be to protect the quarterback in order to do all those plays, and it just went south from there. If Kitchens had stuck to what got him the job, everybody would be in a different place right now. Boom.
Bill, you're absolutely right here. We saw some crazy stat lines, 3 carries for 100 yards, things like that. But it wasn't enough to get Chubb a starting job. He had to trade Carlos Hyde.
That was Dorsey. That means that coach did all that one.
That was Hugh's fault.
Yeah.
That was Hugh's fault all day.
Man, how would you like to have that on your resume? I started Carlos Hyde over Nick Chubb by choice.
All right. Hey, let me do Fatties with Fire because I have
real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Here's what we're gonna do. I know we're closing out the show. It's 9:02. We're closing out the show. Norman, Craig, Redleg, appreciate you guys joining the show. Can I make a bold prediction real quick?
Oh my God, it's gonna help Fatties with Fire.
Huh? Probably not. But I just the irony that's going to be here is going to be interesting. So Tyrod Taylor got benched essentially. Well, he got injured. Baker came in. He never got his job back. Right.
All
right. Tyrod Taylor goes to San Diego. He gets injured. Right. He actually gets a shot. And they puncture his lung trying to give him a shot, right? Loses the starting job. He goes to Houston, gets hurt, loses the starting job, right? My bold prediction, and this is going to be a dark horse transaction, is Baker Mayfield is going to take Tyrod Taylor's job this year. And by doing so, he's also going to take Daniel Jones's job. I predict Baker Mayfield to be a New York Giants. I predict Kyler Murray to be a Carolina Panther. And Seattle, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to Drew Lock or whatever they're going to do over there. But I think Colin Kaepernick could be Kaepernick. But I predict that Justin Masters tuning in late, coming in. Here's a bold prediction for you. We only have 5 wins for you. Justin, stop. Stop. That's a new profile picture, Baldy. Andrew Chamberlain, evening, gentlemen. Hope all is well with everyone. Thanks for joining, Andrew. All right, so listen, that's my bold prediction. It's on the record. It's on video. Norman, Craig, Redleg, we're going to kick you out of here, but appreciate you joining the show. Fatty, do we have time to do our dog of the week before we go to Fatty's on Fire?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Thanks for joining, guys. All right, we are going to do our Cleveland City Dogs of Cleveland Dog of the Week every year or every week during the regular season. We do our offensive and defensive MVPs for the week. Those are our offensive and defensive dogs of the week. We also feature an adoptable dog, and it's the off season, so we just have a dog of the week. All right, so this week's dog of the week is once again Hayden. We have Hayden here. Look at that photo. Hayden is with a foster family, and they're a photographer. As you can tell, I'm out of order here. Robin White Photography is the fostering family. My foster dog Hayden is thinking spring. This pocket pity with an A+ underbite is ready to spring into his new home. He's already 50 pounds, completely housebroken, does fine when you're away at work, and has the potential to live with other dogs. He's also my favorite model because he'll do anything for a couple of treats and a shot of peanut butter. There is another photo of Hayden. Apparently, Hayden is great with props. You can kind of dress him up however you want and be fine with it. City Dogs of Cleveland. You can contact them about Hayden at City Dogs CLE on Twitter, at City Dogs Cleveland on Facebook. You can reach them by phone at 216-664-3476. Or, of course, as always, just reach out to us and we will connect you ourselves with City Dogs of Cleveland. Great friend of the show, great friend of the Cleveland Browns. They're very involved with tailgates and the Browns organization themselves. That Hayden is our dog of the week. If you're looking for a dog, consider adopting Hayden. Justin Masters' remembrance of life for somebody was at the bar. I'm missing the context here, I think.
I have no clue.
All right, Justin, sorry. Let's go to Fatty's on Fire. You ready, Fatty?
Sure, why not?
You don't sound like you're on fire.
Oh, no, I got it.
You got it? Are you sure?
I got it. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to Fatty's on Fire. You know, I normally would have something spiky, something ostentatious to say, but I don't. The only thing I gotta say is, you know something, my birthday's coming up on Thursday, and I turn 41, which is, Lord. But go check out the dawgstable.com. We have been working our ass off to actually give you great content at dawgstable.com. And, Jocelyn. Jocelyn, I love you. All right. She's a lot younger than I am. That's my baby sister. But if you really want a Fatty's on Fire, you know something, right now, it really doesn't matter what happens during this offseason right now, going up to the draft, because we got a wonderful re-signing of Denzel Ward, and then a bunch of Sheldon Day and other guys that you'll find back on the Dawgs Table. We'll get a little rundown of those guys. But, you know something? Come out and hang out with us. We'll put the link out like we always do. Come out and hang out with us next Friday, April 29th at the Brick House. They got some great food. And you know something? If you don't want to actually show up and hang out, the link will be in the bio like we always do. Because guess what? This show is not for us. It's for you. It's for you guys to get whatever it is off your chest. Just like I do with Fatty's on Fire. You know, normally I get pissed off about Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel or Brady Quinn or Brian Hoyer. Let's go that way. But tonight, you know something? Let's have some fun, and I can't wait to see you guys next week at the Brick House. April 29th at 7 p.m. because I will be there. Craig will be there. I think French will be there. Barry might be there. Let's see here. Big Bri might be there from the Legal Ham.
Barry will be there with or without the hookers and blow. French says he's coming up.
Tell Barry to bring the blow.
All right. Fatty's on Fire and Blow.
There. But I thought, you know something? I'm sorry I missed last week. Craig, I missed you, brother.
We all missed you.
That ginger face. Where are our contributors on dawgstable.com?
So we have a number of contributors. For those of you that don't know, we launched a full Cleveland Browns news, analysis, rumors, and website where we post articles and news about the Cleveland Browns. It is legit. We have editors. We have a number of contributors. I think our team is up to 12 now. We are posting content day in and day out. Right now, we're focusing a lot on Cleveland Browns news as it comes out, but a lot of our content is based on Cleveland Browns draft prospects, primarily for day 2, rounds 2 and 3, right? So we have some excellent writers. We were hoping a couple of them might join the show this week. A couple of them joined the show last week. It doesn't always work out with schedules and things like that. That's okay. But make sure you check out the awesome work. We will also be consistently posting our articles on our Twitter, on our Facebook, on our Instagram. Make sure you guys follow us everywhere. Next week, though, we're not going to be here Tuesday. We are going to be live on Friday during the draft. Pull us up on your phone, pull us up on your laptop while you're watching day 2 of the draft. We will be watching right along with you, bringing you our analysis, our live reactions.
Craig, stop it. Come out and hang out with us.
Yes.
At the Brick House. Don't give this, pull it up on it. Come out and hang out with us. We'll get you guys on the video feed. We'll have a blast. That's what we do when we go live.
Absolutely. We are the Dawgs Table, Cleveland Brown Roundtable discussion show. We will be back next Friday. Come hang out with us at the Brick House. We are brought to you by Labatt Blue Light and Remax Edge Realty, the JC Group. You can find us anywhere Big Play is found. We are part of Team Big Play. We are broadcast on their social media channels. Other than that, check out our new website, dawgstable.com. News, analysis, rumors, all of the above. We have some great contributors, including myself and Fatty. That's all I got for today. That's all I got. Fatty, any closing words?
Shut it down. Let's go. Let's go, Browns.
All right. Until next time, go Browns.
Go Browns.